So, talking about landing on aircraft carriers, I know that you have one specific experience that is unique for pilots and shows your prowess behind the throttle. So, please go ahead and tell us that story.
So, sorry, I've got a couple of stories. I don't know which one exactly you're asking.
Well, then let's hear them all. Let's keep going. I mean,
so, it can be a very humbling environment. It's often been said that aviation is not inherently dangerous; it is inherently unforgiving. Carrier aviation, all the more so. So, daylight, good weather, landing on and the airplane's working right. Landing on the ship's a lot of fun. Nighttime, bad weather, it's not as much fun. One of the most, well, let me step you through a normal one, then I'll step you through one or two of my hairier ones. So a normal carrier landing, daylight, you're in what's called the Marshall stack. You stack from about 2,000 feet up to about 10,000 feet, depending on the type model series of the aircraft, and they call you down. The stack kind of collapses, lower guys land, and then everybody descends one. And eventually, you just follow the person in front of you in. You come in, you brake, slow the airplane down, you come around, and you roll out with about a 3/4 mile straightaway in front of the ship. That should be about, it's been many years, memory serves, about 12, I think the ideal is 12, 13 seconds on the ball before you land. And the landing signals officer will call you, so you call the ball, and you'll give your side number. Your side number also tells them what airplane you are. They know that. They can see you. They know who they're talking to. But so it would be
your eyes and your teeth.
Right. And so the response would be 602 Hawkeye ball. So I'm telling them what kind of airplane I am. Ball means I have visual contact on the ball. The ball is the visual landing system you have. You've got a meat ball, a series of lights that are directional, and a series of datums, and basically if the lights are above the datums, you're high. If they're below the datums, you're low. If it starts getting orange or red, you're really, really low. If it goes off the bottom of the datums, you need to be elsewhere.
Yeah.
And ideally you want, even with the datums, just a smidge above the datums is right where you want to be. That's all. So 602 Hawkeye ball, you give me your fuel state. So for us it'd be something like 4.5. We got 4,500 pounds of fuel in my tanks. And sometimes you give them the last name, right? So you make the ball call and they say, Roger ball. If you are off significantly, or if there's something unusual happening that they think you're going to end up drifting off or something you may not be perceiving yet, they'll tell you, come left, right for line up, a little power, a little high, a little low, whatever. Otherwise you just fly it. And you maintain your attitude and your power setting. You watch the ball all the way touchdown. It goes by you. You look forward, maintain your attitude and power setting. As soon as your landing gear touch down, you add power in case you skip the wire. You can go flying again.
Yeah.
And in about a second or two, you'll feel the deceleration, which is smoother but almost as rapid as the acceleration again. The catapult shot, and you pull the throttle back. Actually one of the aircraft handlers will come in front of you, give you the throttle back sign, right? If they don't do that, that tells you that, you're safe. You're safe. We've got you, right? And for people, it may be their first time, or it may be a really rough pass, and they just, they've just got the throttle maxed, and they're hyperventilating a little bit. The air boss, the person in the tower who controls the whole airspace, may say something like, hey, 602, throttle back, we got you. You can't make the ship go any faster, right? They'll
give a bit of
they'll break it down with a little bit of humor. Like, okay, right. So that's what it looks like on a good day. We went flying once. This was 2000. We were deployed on Dwight D. Eisenhower CVN-69, carrier Air Wing 7. We were enforcing the Southern No-Fly Zone, Operation Southern No-Fly Zone, to keep Saddam Hussein from bombing the Kurds. Also make sure he wasn't going to try and launch any of his planes against our ships, which would have been a suicidal move, but you never know.
I mean, look at what's going on now.
Right. So we were just keeping an eye on things. The weather was bad. The weather was so bad. There were sandstorms throughout the Gulf. The Saudis weren't flying. The Kuwaitis weren't flying. The Iranians weren't flying. The Iraqis weren't flying. And our air wing commander decides we are going to launch for unit level training. We are launching at the minimal visibility and ceiling that you could to launch, and we didn't have any divert airfields. They were all socked in. So if we couldn't land, we were getting wet.
Land. Yeah.
Right. It was that simple.
Going for a swim.
And he decided that'd be a good time to do some training. So, okay, we're going and we launch and we do our mission. We come back, and so it's an instrument approach. The advantage you have in an instrument approach or nighttime approach is you get to much longer lineup instead of that 3/4 mile dynamic situation. You can stabilize much farther out, 2-3 miles out sometimes, and just get in a very controlled situation all the way down, which I would usually do. And that's one of the reasons I really enjoyed flying at night is it was a lot less dynamic. The winds were usually calmer. Good weather nighttime. I was one of the weird people. I always liked those. Usually people only like the daytime ones. This one was not like that. We get to 3/4 mile, and the landing signals officers call me up and they say, call the ball. And the term when you can't see was Clara, right?
Yep.
And usually it'd be Clara ball. I called Clara ship, 3/4 miles away, traveling approximately 118 miles an hour. I could not see a 1,000 foot long
ship,
100,000 ton ship that I'm supposed to be touching down on in 2 minutes. And I had not flown a particularly good approach. I was, for whatever reason, I was struggling that day, and I was chasing the landing indicators all over the place. And so the airplane's doing this a little bit, and it's also my first tour. So while I've done several of these, I don't have that depth of experience yet. And so we're coming in, and this is a Hawkeye, so the throttle's in my right hand and the yoke's in my left. So we're coming in, and we get closer, and it's obvious that the landing signals officers can't see me either.
Oh, my.
At about a half a mile, so we're about 8 seconds from landing, I look up, and I can see the outboard of the starboard of the ship. The runway's on the port side of the ship. And in my mind, I can feel the landing signals officers have this thing that's called the pickle. And they've got their finger on it, and they give you the wave off lights if you're out of parameters and wave you off. I can feel their finger tightening on the pickle. I just rip the airplane up, make 2 quick corrections, and land on centerline on 3 water. That was not a lot of fun. It taught me 2 things. One, I had the ability and the basic airmanship skills to get out of some pretty hairy situations. And 2, it would have been a lot better and wiser to use those airmanship skills about 3 miles earlier and fly a good approach and not have to do that, right? So it was nice to know I could get myself out of a jam in a bad situation, but I'd put myself there to begin with. And much better to, there's a saying in aviation that the mark of a superior aviator, the hallmark of a superior aviator, is one who uses his superior headwork to avoid having used his superior airmanship skills.